another episode of the Classy Cooking Channel. I'm Deneen.
And I'm Dawn. And today we're making two simple basic sauces that are going to become your go-tos. Today I'm making bechamel sauce or a white sauce. And that is great. It's a French mother sauce that can be adapted so many ways that you could really get creative with it. It's my go-to. Deneen, what are you making?
And I'm making an Italian sauce, a really simple Italian sauce. It's made with extra virgin olive oil, butter, and garlic, otherwise known as an Aglio Olio sauce.
Sounds delicious. So let's get started.
Hello, today we're going to make a simple garlic and butter sauce, but we're also going to add some extra virgin olive oil to it too. In classic Italian, that would be Aglio Olio. And I'm going to add a little twist with a dried Italian cherry pepper, just for a little heat, but I'll get back to that in a few. Now, I've got about 2 tablespoons, more or less, of butter, and you can adjust to your liking, but that's what we're going to start out with for our sauce. And I've got 2 crushed garlic cloves here. If you like more garlic, by all means, go right ahead. I love and appreciate garlic, but I like it in smaller doses, so I tend to use a little less of it. Again, you can add according to your taste. So I've got this butter warming up just a bit. I just want to get that melted, and then I'm going to put in some good quality extra virgin olive oil and get that going so when I put the garlic in, it sizzles. So I'm using this pepper because my mom dehydrates them. They're kind of like a family tradition, and we use them in a lot of different recipes. And actually, I haven't done it here, but I chop up the pepper itself and put it in the sauce as well. So right now I'm just using the seeds, but there's all different kinds of ways that you can use the pepper whole, all different variations. And we will have other videos highlighting dishes that use these peppers. And at the end of the sauce, I'm going to add some fresh chopped parsley. And today, because I had chives in my garden, I'm going to add those as well. Okay, so our pan is heating up nicely. Our butter and our extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to just take out the pepper seeds. Now, of course, you can use any kind of crushed pepper that you have on hand. And we'll just let pepper flavor get infused with the butter and the oil first. And then we'll add our garlic. And you really want to watch this so that it roasts up, but don't let it burn. If it cooks too fast at once, of course, burnt garlic doesn't really have a great flavor. It gets a little bitter. So just let that sit in there and cook up. I'm going to add some fresh ground black pepper. And because that butter was unsalted, I'm going to add a pinch of salt. Oh, smells nice. All right, so the garlic is getting toasted just nicely, and I'm going to add a little bit of fresh herbs, our parsley, our chives here. Get that all incorporated, all that flavor, and it's basically ready. I'm going to take it off the heat so that it doesn't cook anymore. something where you can boil your pasta, put it directly in the pan, mix it around, add more butter according to how glossy you'd like it. There you have it. It's quick, easy, and simple.
Okay, for our second sauce today, we're making a classic bechamel, which is very well known for being a French mother sauce. And I've studied that extensively and made it for so many years. Actually, bechamel was one of the first things I learned how to make in college. The classic bechamel starts off with very simple ingredients. We have some unsalted organic butter here. And what we're going to do with the butter, we're going to put equal parts of flour in with it, and that makes what is called a roux, R-O-U-X. It doesn't have to be butter. Butter is a great option. You could do ghee or an oil. It's really just a starch and a lipid combined in equal parts. And what it does is it makes a sauce because it helps thicken things. All right, so I have a saucepan that is heating up. And I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons. If I err on the side of too much butter, I'm okay with that. So my butter's in, and now I'm going to add in equal parts of flour. So 2 tablespoons butter, 2 tablespoons flour. I happen to be using Wondra flour, which I will link down below. It is a finer flour than, say, all-purpose flour, although you could use all-purpose flour, and I have many, many times. This doesn't form lumps and have your sauce clump up in weird ways. It really helps make a super silky sauce in the end. So in goes my flour. And we're going to whisk that together. What you'll see happening is that it sort of forms a paste that almost even just looks like wet sand. That's called that roux, and there's different levels of roux. So we're only going to keep this at a blonde roux. So just letting it cook for a couple minutes so that the taste of raw flour cooks out of it. It becomes a little bit more nutty. And then what I'm going to add into it is milk, and hence that's why it's called bechamel white sauce, as soon as I've given it a couple minutes to cook out. You can also cook the roux longer. For instance, if it gets to a really dark state, that's a brown roux, and it's used for making things like gumbo. However, the longer you cook it like this, the less thickening power it has, so something to be aware of. That thickening power does start to dissipate. All right, so 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour, and now I'm adding in some milk. Now, truth be told, you're not supposed to add cold milk into this. The rule, quote unquote, is that you have scalded milk or heated milk. Escoffier, who perfected this sauce, I believe, felt that it should be boiling milk. He also infused some things into it. So 2 cups of milk. Here's my cheat way. I don't like dirtying more pans. So I nuke my milk. But Escoffier would have infused it with maybe bay leaf, onion, and thyme is a great one. So I'm just going to infuse that and nuke it in the microwave for about a minute, just so that it gets nice and hot when we add it to our roux. By the magic of YouTube, we have our heated milk infused with thyme. Deneen has so much great growing thyme that we were able to use quite a huge sprig of it, which is helpful when it's in the microwave because it will really get a lot more flavor in there. But all right, in goes my milk. It's going to scald. And you really have to whisk right away so that it doesn't clump. And the flour and butter mixture known as roux now dissipates into the milk, which will start to come to a simmer, and as soon as it comes to a little bubble, it's going to be at its thickest. So you'll see that it thickens up quite a bit. I'm going to add a pinch of salt. So this came up to a boil, a little bit of a boil, and now I've reduced it a bit so that it's not going to scald on the bottom. And you can see how nice and thick and luscious it is. And I still have a few things to do to it because I want to add 2 pinches of salt. And then for the pepper, traditionally with the bechamel, you have to use white pepper because regular black pepper in it, it has undesirable little black flecks in it that makes the sauce look a little less classy. During my normal weeknight meals, I don't think about trying to pull this out of the cupboard. I just go ahead and use my black pepper mill because I love fresh cracked black pepper. I put on everything. And so I think many people are no longer so purist about thinking about white pepper in this to avoid specks in the sauce. And usually when you're using pepper of any nature, you'd want to do about half the amount of pepper as you use salt. So keep that in mind. Finally, a really important part of this, fresh ground nutmeg. So nutmeg traditionally goes into a bechamel sauce, and you can buy ground nutmeg, of course, but you don't know how long it's been on the shelf in the grocery store, and it loses a lot of its flavor profile when it's been ground previously and just sitting around. So I always recommend fresh ground nutmeg. I love the look of it too. And we're just going to use a little microplane to get it in there. I'm not shy with it either. Love that stuff. To know it's the right thickness at this point, it should do what we call nappe. Nappe. It means it's going to coat the back of the spoon. Oh, it's going to be a little hot. And when you run your very hot finger through it, the sauce does not come in and cave in through the lime. It tastes really good. There's some nutmeg on my finger too. It's not mixed in yet.
That looks great, Dawn.
That's nappe. So I'm just going to make sure that the little bit of nutmeg in there has fully incorporated. All right. Can you believe that is it to the sauce? There are 5 mother sauces, French mother sauces, and if you are interested in me covering any of the others or how I use them in applications, comment below and we will make a video if you like this.
And that, friends, finishes off today's sauce video on the Classy Cooking channel. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed it.
If you liked this video, hit that like button. If you are not already, please make sure to subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button to be notified whenever we upload. We're posting cooking episodes weekly on our channel.
See you next time.